Hello, everybody, and today I'm reviewing something very different from my usual reviews. I'm reviewing an anime, that being Delicious in Dungeons. So, a friend from work encouraged me to watch this on Netflix since I was trying to get back into anime, because I used to watch some anime on Netflix, but I kind of took a break from watching some anime. So I tried out some anime. Some didn't really work for me, but until I found Delicious in Dungeons. And I gotta say, this show is a lot of fun. It has a mix of Dungeons and Dragons and a mix of Food Wars. I don't know why. I never really talked about Food Wars on my channel. But the only animes I've really talked about were Whiskers Away and Things Blow Up by Soda Pop, I think it's called. But yeah, those are obscure animes. But this seems to be a new anime people are into. And it came out on Netflix, and there's a manga. And my friend has the whole manga. So yeah, I'm not really versed in the whole anime world. I can respect people who do like anime. But this is coming from someone who is, I guess you can say, a casual fan of anime. So what is this show about? It's about a group of adventurers going in a dungeon to go on a quest to fight a giant dragon while also trying to cook as many nutritious meals as they can, while also looking for supplies. So what really engaged me about this show is how creative it is. Each character has their own unique set of quirks. Like the night guy, for example. I'm sorry I don't really know anime names. I'm really bad at knowing the characters' names since it's very different from characters we'd see in, I don't know, since anime is made in Japan, the names are very different from, what we hear in America. So, if I don't know the names, if I don't say them right, I'm sorry. But, our fellow main character, his name is Louis Tonin. He's a knight. I really like his character. I thought he was voiced by Josh Keenan for a second, but, I don't think so. He kind of did sound like him, but, his character is really interesting. He's, the funny guy, but also the knight of the group. I don't know why, but I always root for his character whenever I see him. We also got, I think her name is, Marcel. She's, the picky witch. I mean, not witch, the sorcerer, who's got, the staff, and she is more the picky one of the group because she doesn't like the various foods they have to eat, and she just thinks they're gross, and she mainly just complains a lot, but that's what makes her character funny. The other guy is the short guy. His name is Chicky Chuck Timms. So his character, he's also kind of the picky one. He's the short one, and he mainly is the voice. I think he's almost the voice of reason one of the group. But we also got Marcetti, I think his name is. He's the dwarf dude. I really like his character. The one quote he says in this show is, "You must have nutrition." And he becomes the expert of the foods they make. They mainly, each episode is them encountering various wild creatures. One of the episodes that really took it back for me, that it wasn't bad, but it was actually surprisingly different, is where they fight a group of knights who are possessed by these egg-looking things, and they have to fight it, and they literally had to eat the armor. So I never thought, why are they going to eat armor? And they find a way to make it delicious, literally. But the various foods they make, they actually look really good. And even the first episode, they make various nutritions group. It's very different for what foods they eat. They even eat large pizzas. They even make when they encounter these group of frogs, they make suits out of them for them to wear. But the various things about this show is how kind of violent it is, because when they do go on the quest to defeat a dragon, there's this entire arc where they encounter the dragon. And our main character, the knight, he mainly fights the dragon, but because it's so powerful, they don't know what they can do to stop it, to find its weakness. But they even use a little small knife to take it down, the dragon, but they find its weak spot. But our fellow character ends up losing his leg, and it's ooh, it's very brutal. But because there's a lot of magic in this show, they are able to heal his wound. So that's interesting. And we also get episodes with the side characters. Those episodes, I gotta say, I couldn't really get into some of those episodes because it's hard for me to engage with newer characters when I'm already used to these characters. But they try to make the newer characters interesting. But I'm going to try to get into the manga because I actually bought a copy of it at the mall recently. And so I'm going to check out, which is basically could be like a preview for season 2 of the show, because the finale wasn't really my favorite, but the last episode before that felt more like a finale. But that last episode kind of just felt like a setup episode, in my opinion. Because some anime, for me, it's just like a lot of characters and their dialogues, the way the characters move. It's very different from like animation we see on our regular TV. But what really works about this show is how mystical it is, and the backstory, the lore. I just love how creative it all is for this show. And it got me into wanting to read the manga for sure. And, we get, really creative episodes. There's this one episode where the characters, end up getting doppelgangers and clones, and they have to fight them. I thought that was interesting. But what else happens in the last few episodes is they pass through some mushrooms, and they end up switching appearances. The knight becomes the short guy. The Marcelli becomes, I think she becomes the dwarf, sort of. Or a cat, I'm pretty sure. We also meet a cat character who turns into a dog. But the dwarf becomes a more bigger person, someone who looks more attractive. But but eventually they end up switching back to their regular appearances. I almost thought they didn't. But they mainly encounter, the show is mainly just about them encountering various monsters, creatures. It's basically kind of the villain of the week for this show, but that's what makes it interesting, by the various foods they eat. So for Delicious in Dungeons, I'd probably give this season probably a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10. But I look forward to watching it more. But I'm sorry if this video was a little too vague, because I basically watched an episode a day. But I think I was engaged with this show. There were some episodes that worked for me, and there's some that were just they're all right. But overall, I think there are more anime fans who are really into this show. I don't consider myself an anime expert because I don't really know the craft. I like the style of how anime looks, but I don't really know the characters, the lore, the voice actors. But yeah, the voice acting too is pretty good. You can kind of tell each character's voices, they actually feel memorable when you're hearing their voice acting for this. And there's this whole debate about the whole sub versus dub thing. I never understood that debate for the anime community. But I'm mainly watching in English, the language dub, because I don't know. I can't. I feel like I just wouldn't want to listen to the Japanese version, even though that's the original version. But I feel like I just need to hear things in English, which is a better preference for me, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah. So will I review more animes? Maybe. But which one I find, I'll definitely talk about it for sure. So yeah. So what do you think of Delicious in Dungeons, if you're an anime fan? So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.